Hey, I'm here to help you answer that age-old question of how do I tell if a food is good for me or not? Well, what we'll first do is start by drawing a line in the sand and then saying it's either on this side or this side is very tough. In reality, because there are so many factors to consider, we should put it on a spectrum of it's better for me or worse. And that spectrum and where it lands can differ from person to person based on things like your current diet, your current fitness level, what your goals are, and a number of things, but those just to name a few. However, that's a topic for another discussion. So what we should do is talk about how to identify where a certain food might land on that spectrum. So let's say we first start by checking out whether it's in a wrapper or in a package or not. Like for instance, let's say you go through the produce section and you grab a head of lettuce. All right, that's not packaged. And if it were, it would only have one ingredient on it, right? That's going to be a good, safe bet. Let's say you pick up a carton of eggs. All right, there's no ingredients list there, but if you open it, you can see that it's just eggs. The ingredients list would be one item long. All right, another very safe bet. So that's always a really good indicator of keeping it natural, and that's a great choice most of the time. Now, on the other side, let's say it comes in a package. Let's say your food is wrapped or in a box. All right, now we've got to very carefully scrutinize it. We don't want to have too many of these foods. They're generally processed. But then we go through and we scrutinize it by doing this. We want to take your package, take a look at the front. This is just a wrapper I had laying around, so we'll use this as an example. And then you just pay no attention to the front because this is just marketing. This is just meant to try to get you to feel good and think it's great and buy it. So instead, we're going to flip it around to the back side. This is where the information is. Now I know nobody likes nutrition labels and you don't want to have to spend time reading this, but let me just teach you very, very quickly how to make it simple. We've got three things to look for here: proteins, carbs, and fats. All right, 12 grams of protein in this little bar here. Not bad, that's good. We want to have reasonable protein. Fat's very good for it. We need to have a reasonable amount of fat. Here's 9 grams. And then lastly, carbohydrates, 24. So this number is actually the highest of the three. And if you're trying to lose weight, that's going to be a little bit detrimental. Though 24 isn't through the roof, so I'm not too terrified about it, especially if my diet's already pretty good. I can dissect the carbohydrate category here a little bit. We've got fiber, 5 grams. Nice, that's really great. We want to have fiber. Total sugars though, 13 grams. So that's a bit high. While it also says 0 added sugars, that's wonderful. But the 13 grams of sugars, even if it's naturally occurring, is still kind of high if you're trying to lose weight. So you want to have your sugars as low as possible. Again, it's a spectrum. The less sugar, the better. The more sugar, the worse. So look at it that way. But it doesn't stop there. We don't need to just look at that nutrition label. Another good way to indicate whether a food is healthy or not is with the ingredients list. So that, if I fold down the flap and I look at the top left up here, you'll see a list of ingredients, which a good place to start is how long is this list? Is it the size of the Bible? Well, probably a big red flag for you. Also, what those ingredients are. Let's go through it. Dates, egg whites, almonds, cashews. All right, so far I'm hearing all things that I recognize, that I can pronounce. These are all things from Earth. These are really good so far. Chocolate, cocoa, natural flavors, and sea salt. Great. I'm hearing all kinds of good stuff, and it's a very short list. These are all things I can pronounce. They're all things that, pretty much don't come from a lab. It usually are things that come from Earth, except that one, natural flavors. I don't know of a natural flavors plant or an animal that produces natural flavors, but so that's kind of a red flag right there. It's not a huge thing though, because it is at the end of the list. So that's a good sign. The things that are occurring the most in this product are going to be at the top of the list. Things that occur the least are at the bottom of the list. So I'm not too concerned with it, but 13 grams of sugar is the one thing that tells me it's a little iffy. Either way, it's still packaged, so it's not something I want too terribly much of, but it's a good thing to throw in there if you're in a pinch. All right, if you're not able to stick to your plan for any reason that's interfering with what you've got going on, then you might want to just shoot for the best thing you can find that's readily accessible, and that's how you identify whether it's good or not. All right, I hope that was a helpful video and that you were able to take something from it and apply it to your daily life. If you'd like more help, please ask a question in the comments or just let me know if it was helpful by commenting below. All right, thanks.